I'm part of this show, and this is life after pro wrestling in a ring that still allows me to be a part of the wrestling business. And then you
Yeah.
have, your independent signings that you did, like me and Mark. We had I'll just, tell you real quick, this past weekend, Wildkat Sports down in New Orleans, Luke Hawks and his gang down there did a fantastic job
Fantastic job.
with this show. Really, really. Mark dressed up as Santa Claus. He read a Christmas story to all the fans. He got into an altercation with one of the talent there. Mark had everybody eating out of the palm of his hand, and he added extra, entertainment to that show. Mark was there. Me and Devon were there. Mandy Sachs were there.
Sandman.
Sandman was there, signing autographs, taking pictures, having a great time. But here's what really stood out to me the most. We were there for a long time. We were signing for about 3 hours. And after 3 hours of signing, you get a little, you can get a little tired, believe it or not, just from signing your name and taking pictures and interacting with people and constantly just being on. So when the show started, when the Wildkat Revolution matches started, I was sitting at our signing table, which was in the same giant room as the matches. And I was on my phone. I was texting with some family, some friends, just reading social media. I wasn't really concentrating on the matches. But man, if they didn't get my attention, every single match on that show in one way, shape, or form had that crowd, I'd say between 1,200 and 1,500 people, Mark, had them on their feet. I'm not talking about the gratuitous reaction you get at a wrestling show. I mean, these fans knew what was going on these shows. They knew the characters. They knew the stories. They appreciated the work and the physicality that was going on in the ring, that eventually I took my phone and I put it away and I started watching the matches. So what did they do when it came to me? They commanded my attention. And when you can command my attention, I appreciate that. So great job by everybody down there at Wildkat Sports, Wildkat Wrestling. You put on a great event.
Well, I mean, we had this past week, Mark and Bully, we had Luke Hawks on the show. And we had his son, PJ Hawks, on the show. And the main event that night was the cage match, father versus son. And we made this pretty clear, and Tommy talked a lot about this as well, and so did I. Like, that's a real life scenario. Luke and his son have not talked for the most part in 2 years. And, PJ Hawks was on our air, and he had both me, Tommy, and Thunder in tears, talking about the relationship with his dad. And then we had Luke on, and Luke was in tears talking about the relationship with his son. That's a real life situation. And guys, you talk about, storytelling. Nothing tells a better story than reality itself. But if anything was the theme of the second hour of our show today about why getting an emotional connection through storytelling is so important, it is that emotional connection where a 53-year-old grown man is wearing a pink robe. His hair is a mess because of his love for a pro wrestler and his love for pro wrestling. That's the importance, guys, of storytelling. And when you're talking about, Bully, that, hey, man, you do these shows so much where you do the meet and greets and you're at these shows, that they commanded your attention. You're doing that and you have people on their feet the entire time because they know the characters. They know the people that are in the ring, and they're emotionally connected to them. That's the foundation and the beauty of pro wrestling right there. If that doesn't describe it, I don't know what does. Amazing. Amazing.
And, Dave, just to have a show that's not one of the top companies in the world, to pull off 1,500 people is a big deal. I mean, it was extremely loud. And on the bottom bowl, there were no seats. On the second tier, this is in a bowl arena. On the second level, it was almost no seats. They're going to need a bigger venue next year. So every year you want to get better. He said that this was the second biggest attendance that they ever had.
Well, we were signing and you were signing, so.
Oh, well, we'll have to.
You know, brother.
Well, they stuck and stayed for the show. I've seen a lot of independent shows that once that meet and greet is over, most of your fans leave. It sounds like they stayed to see the wrestling. So
no, they stayed. It was incredible how, and they knew all the characters. That's just a tribute to the work that Wildkat does in that community. I did a lot of social media stuff, but nothing pays like a self-made audience.
And they were live. I could not believe how live they were. I mean, when you hear that kind of reaction from an independent show, you know that the promotion is doing a good job promoting. So great job, guys.
Well, congratulations to Luke Hawks. All right, when we come back, as I mentioned, we have the Busties coming up on Thursday.